What's up, friends, and welcome to day 4. 4 days ago, you started building, not know exactly where this whole thing was going. And here's where we are right now. We have 4 tools set up with specific jobs. We've got an Oracle that you've built for your own writing and own use case. You now have a live agent that does tasks for you if you set up Manus. You have a clear picture, Lord willing, of how your prep work can change as a result of Manus doing a lot of that heavy lifting for you. That's the real foundation. It took me a lot of time to piece all of these things together, and hopefully I gave that to you in a very simple and concise way in 4 days. Today is really an offer that I have of something that I've been building that I hope and pray serves you well. These are 2 tools I built for agents, and I want you to have them. Before we go forward, I want to be straight about what's possible and then what maybe isn't possible. The research we did on day 3 with Manus' help, the pre-seller appointment prep, was running me, even with help, maybe 45 minutes. I'm the type of guy that when I went into a listing appointment, which I don't do anymore, but when I went into a listing appointment, I wanted to be as thoroughly prepared as possible. And I am a data nerd. So I spent at least 45 minutes prepping, looking at data, pulling comps. And so when I built out this workflow that Manus, by the way, came back in 12 minutes, and I've added additional things in this, and Manus comes back in 12 to 15 minutes with 3 more pages if you want. I'm not going to tell you what that means for your business specifically. You know your own volume. You know your own business way better than I do. What I can actually say is that research and drafting tasks tend to be the most transferable across different real estate organizations because the underlying job is basically the same. Gather information, organize that information, present it and package it clearly so that your client and end user at the end of the day can take actionable steps based on real data and real truth, right? That's something these tools can all do very reliably. The time you get back goes into whatever requires you specifically, client relationships, phone calls, negotiations, consults and appointments, conversations that need an actual real person. That's where the recovered hours go, in my opinion. All of this stuff is to kind of get the busy, the tedious work that somebody else can do for you done for you a lot faster so that you can do more of this person-to-person, face-to-face type of interaction, which is why most of us get into this business in the first place. Most of us did not get into this business to handle logistics and admin, but there is a lot of logistics and admin. So these tools are intended to give you that time back. So if you want to build on what we built this week, this is how I'd consider on what to work on first. 3 questions for any task that you are considering. Number 1, how often do I do this task? Daily task returns the most value over time, and start there, right? How often do you do this? When you do it often, this is something to look at. Number 2, how long does this typically take? Longer tasks give you more time back when you hand them off. Obviously, we just don't usually take the time to look at our business this way. And then the 3rd is how much do you actually avoid doing this? The tasks that you dread get delegated fast and get delegated well, hopefully, if you do it the right way. Don't underestimate this one. The stuff that you just wish you didn't have to do, I would put that on the list that you try and get off if you can with these tools. I'm high on all 3, but that's your first build, okay? Now, for most agents that I've talked to, the first 3 are seller appointment research, okay? Cold follow-up drafts or cold text messages if you're doing this, listing descriptions, anything that is frequent, time-consuming, right? It requires you to do writing. Most agents rush all 3. Build those first. At least that's my encouragement and strong recommendation. Here's how I'd sequence the next 12 months if I were starting with maybe where some of you are right now. So month 1 to month 3 is where you're going to build out your personal system. So the first 3 months you're building for yourself: appointment research, cold follow-ups, listing descriptions, comp analysis, all right? Your goal by month 3, your most time-consuming solo prep tasks are now running faster. You're editing and approving instead of building from scratch. And that's where the shift worth building occurs, okay? Month 4 through 6 is where you're looking at other people facing workflows. This is where deal flow starts to compound if you're working with guys like me, investors, okay? Property analysis, off market summaries, some type of communication with the other individuals, deal research by zip code. You go from occasionally sending deals to having a much more organized and packaged pipeline, and AI makes this a lot easier to stay on top of and makes it way easier to stay organized. Month 7 through 12 is where you're going to leverage AI even more. By month 12, your goal is that, if you want my encouragement, is that AI is handling as much of this as you can, so you can almost have a true one-person business because AI is running all of these other things that allows you to maximize your profit, maximize your margin, and minimize any fluff or waste that you have. I can't tell you exactly what that's going to look like for your numbers, but I can tell you that this direction of building these things in this way will help you stay consistent with that. So 2 things that I've been working on that I said I was going to give you, you can have access for the rest of your life. And free giveaway number 1 is the Doxa Deal Evaluator. I took my brain over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of listing appointments, gazillions of properties sold, me being a deal doctor for a team that sold a property every 16 hours. I put all of that in one single bot, okay? This is what this solves. If you're at a property you think might be interesting as a listing, or maybe for an investor, or maybe even that you want to buy yourself, but you're not exactly sure what the numbers look like, you literally just put it in the bot. You tell the bot what you want, you open it up, you give it the criteria, you give it the prompt, and then it will run all kinds of different scenarios and model for you. I built it so that it helps you evaluate any type of deal. Do you want to offer an as-is listing to the seller when you go in there? Great. This will give you the model for doing that. Do you want to offer this to an investor? It will help you think through that as well. What about pre-sale renovation? It'll help you do that as well. What about, hey, this is a multi-unit and I want to maybe purchase it. How do I understand if this is a good deal? Or I have a seller who's actually thinking about seller financing. I don't know what to do with seller financing. What does that mean? Or this is a loan assumption, or any number of things. Take your pick. This is going to help you cover that all for free. All you have to do is just put the prompt, tell them what you're facing, what outcome you would likely want, and then the bot will help you with the rest. This is completely free, and all you got to do is once you click the link, it will download in your ChatGPT, and it will be on the left-hand side of your custom bots, and then you can use it as you see fit. The second thing we built was actually an app that lives on your phone. And if you're a Droid user, I'm very sorry. We do not have a Droid version yet, but that is in the works. We will have. This is a in the field calculator for when you need a quick read on a deal without sitting at a spreadsheet to determine what would an investor honestly pay for this. Okay, you're in the driveway. You need this in less than 2 minutes. Does this work or does this not? Would this be a good deal for Jonathan or somebody like a Jonathan? You enter the basics. You enter the ARV. You need to have an idea of what type of renovations are required, but you don't have to know the cost. You just need to know, is this a small, medium, large, or is this going to be like a true luxury build, something in DC or in a multi-milli property where you're going to bring in the big guns to really do this thing up nice. That's all there. You just need to know the ARV and what the scope of the renovation is going to be, and it's going to give you a general range of what an investor would pay for a property like this. It's going to be different once an investor walks through, but this gives you a quick range so that you can have that data right then, right there, super, super fast. We built both of these things for us initially, and then because we've had so many agents ask us all these types of questions, we built this for you. So I hope that this helps you. Now listen, I want to be straight with why I built this AI challenge. I spent 2 years and a lot more hours than I'd like to admit learning these tools and figuring out what actually works in the real estate space, applying it inside of my own business, both in investing and in retail real estate. I wanted to give agents a shortcut I didn't have when I was figuring this out. But I also built it because I want to be the investor that gives the most value to agents in my market. I want to be that guy where agents look forward to his phone calls that say, there's no other investor in my life that's spent the time to create this much value for me. He's a good dude, and I want to do more business with him. So there's two things that I want to invite you to participate in. Number one, if you went through this and you found any value whatsoever, could you just forward this link to another agent? I am on a mission to help as many agents as possible stay in front of this AI wave, because I think agents are truly legends. And I know because I used to be a high volume listing agent, and I know how difficult it is. I think agents, with what they do and the capacity they have to operate in, especially at a high level, they're ridiculous. They are ridiculous in the best sense of the word. They are legends, and I want to help as many of them as I can. So if this served you, just send this to someone with the hopes that this little 4-day challenge will help them do the same and help them grow their business, grow their impact, and really build the type of life and business that they want. Second, bring me your deals. I'm actively buying in the DMV, Baltimore, Richmond, and North Carolina, some South Carolina as well. I'm buying off markets. I'm buying distressed. I'm buying properties with motivated sellers. I'm buying value add rentals, anything that an investor would want to see. You bring me the lead, you bring me the deal. We close fast, we perform, we make sure you are taken care of, whether that means you represent us on the buy side or however we need to do it. I will not do a deal that you bring me unless you are generously compensated. I know how much work it takes to be on that side, and I do not want to do anything to dilute the worthiness that you have to get paid well. And I know what that's like. And so I want to make sure that that happens. There's no form. There's no gatekeepers. DM me on Instagram. The link is on any one of the pages. You can find me there. Just send me the address. Send me a quick note about the situation, and I'll respond to you same day unless for some reason I'm not on social that day, which is not often. Those are the only two things I'm asking for. If you got any value whatsoever, send this to somebody and then send me your deals. I would love to do a deal with you. So that's a wrap, y'all. That is 4 days. That's the AI challenge. You've built something real this week, a foundation that many agents I've found in this market, surprisingly so, do not have. You have tools and tools with a purpose. You have a context document that makes every conversation better and more specific to you, a bespoke situation here. You have a workflow now that does not require you. It requires you to start it, but it doesn't require you to keep it going if you're using Manus. Build on this slowly. This is one of those brick by brick every day, little by little every day. Stay consistent. And when a deal crosses your desk that looks like something that an investor would want, you know where to find me. I'm Jonathan Smith. Go build something awesome. I'm hoping this challenge helped you do that very thing, and I'll see you next time.